Across the world, young men, especially those from Gen Z, are stepping away from marriage in record numbers, and the trend is only accelerating. What was once seen as a natural milestone in adulthood is now being questioned, reevaluated, and for many outright rejected. This isn't just about putting off marriage until later. For a growing number, it's a conscious, deliberate decision to opt out entirely, a move that's quietly reshaping the very fabric of our society and challenging long-held expectations about adulthood. So why are so many young men making this choice? They see the risks everywhere, legal pitfalls that can be devastating, the looming threat of financial loss, and a system that to them feels overwhelmingly stacked against men in the event of divorce or separation. The old social contract, security and stability in exchange for lifelong partnership, feels broken, outdated, and unreliable to many. The promise of happily ever after seems less certain than ever. Divorce horror stories, tales of financial ruin, and bitter custody battles are everywhere, shared online, in the media, and even among friends and family. These stories have become cautionary tales that shape young men's choices. For many, marriage now looks less like a promise and more like a gamble, one with potentially catastrophic downsides and very few guarantees. But it's not about hating women or avoiding meaningful relationships. Instead, it's about self-preservation, protecting their futures, and making choices that feel safer and more rational in today's world. Romance, love, and connection are still very much on the table. But when it comes to the legal contract of marriage, that's where many young men are drawing a firm line. Instead, they're choosing personal freedom, financial security, and the ability to chart their own course over following tradition for tradition's sake. This quiet revolution is changing not just individual lives, but the very future of family and society as we know it. The numbers tell the story, revealing how much the landscape of love, marriage, and family has shifted in just a few generations. Behind every statistic is a real person, facing new choices and challenges in a world that looks nothing like the one their grandparents knew. In the 1950s, most men married by 22, now it's over 30. The age gap isn't just a number, it's a sign of changing priorities, longer periods of self-discovery, and a society that no longer expects everyone to settle down young. Married households have dropped from nearly 80% to under 50%. The classic image of the nuclear family is fading, replaced by a patchwork of living arrangements and lifestyles. Divorce rates hover around 40 to 50%, a coin flip for your future. For many, the risk of heartbreak and financial fallout feels too high to ignore. More men than women are looking for relationships, but both are opting out of marriage. Dating apps and social media have changed how people connect, but they've also made commitment feel more complicated than ever. Divorce scars are everywhere. Nearly 1 in 10 men are divorced today, up from just 2% in 1950. Each broken home leaves a mark, shaping how the next generation views love and trust. Gen Z is even more skeptical. Only 30% of young men see marriage as a life goal. Many are questioning whether the old promises of happily ever after still hold up. Fewer than a quarter want kids before 30. Parenthood, once seen as a milestone, now feels like a distant or uncertain dream for many. The American dream package, house, spouse, kids, now looks like a mountain of risk and debt. Rising costs and economic instability make traditional milestones feel out of reach. These stats reflect a deep fear of commitment's consequences, anxiety about the future, and the weight of past mistakes shape every decision. Young men see the odds and are choosing to sit this one out. For many, it's safer to watch from the sidelines than risk losing it all. The data isn't just numbers, it's a warning. It's a reflection of shifting values, growing uncertainty, and a generation redefining what it means to build a life. The traditional path is no longer the default. Today, every choice is up for debate, and the future of relationships is being rewritten one decision at a time. The financial risks of marriage are staggering, and for many men, the potential consequences are hard to ignore. What starts as a hopeful partnership can quickly turn into a high-stakes gamble with your future on the line. Divorce can mean losing half your assets, regardless of who earned them. Years of hard work and savings can vanish almost overnight, leaving you scrambling to rebuild. Prenups are rare and often seen as unromantic, so most men skip them. Without legal protection, you're left exposed to the full force of divorce laws. Alimony and child support can drain your income for years, even if your ex is fully capable of working. These payments can feel never-ending, making it difficult to move forward financially or emotionally. In 80% of custody cases, mothers get primary custody, leaving many men as visitors in their children's lives. The emotional toll of being separated from your kids can be devastating. The legal system feels biased and the horror stories are everywhere. Men share tales of unfair settlements, endless court battles, and lives turned upside down. For young men, the risk of losing everything, money, home, kids, is too high. The fear of starting over from scratch is real and paralyzing. They hear these stories from friends, family, and online communities. The warnings are constant, and the sense of danger is reinforced at every turn. The message is clear. Marriage is a financial minefield. Every step forward feels like it could trigger disaster. For many, it's just not worth the gamble. The risks seem to outweigh the rewards, making commitment feel like a losing bet. Opting out feels like the only rational choice, a way to protect yourself from heartbreak and financial ruin in a world where the odds seem stacked against you. Economic reality is brutal for young men today. Housing is unaffordable, wages lag behind inflation, and basic costs keep rising. Supporting yourself is hard enough, supporting a family feels impossible. The single-income household is dead. Even dual incomes barely cover the basics. The pressure to provide is immense, but the math just doesn't add up. Divorce could mean financial ruin with no safety net. The American dream now feels out of reach. Gen Z men are prioritizing financial stability over tradition. They're investing in themselves, not risking it all on marriage. A family is seen as a financial liability, not a goal. In this climate, staying single is a strategic move. Survival comes before romance. Modern feminism has transformed gender roles and relationship expectations. Women are empowered, independent, and no longer need men for financial security. The old partnership model is gone, but a clear new one hasn't replaced it. Men are still expected to provide, but the benefits of marriage feel uncertain. Conflicting messages about masculinity and partnership leave men confused. Many feel the risks outweigh the rewards. This isn't about blaming women, it's about reacting to a new social equation. As women change their priorities, men are re-evaluating theirs. The new terms, high risk, high cost, uncertain reward, just don't add up. For many, marriage no longer makes sense. Gen Z grew up surrounded by stories of divorce and family court disasters. They've seen the fallout firsthand: financial ruin, emotional pain, and legal bias. The fear is real, and the desire for freedom is stronger than ever. Marriage and fatherhood look like cages, not dreams. Why risk it all when you can build your own life, travel, and pursue passions? Gen Z men are making a pragmatic choice: opt out of a system they see as rigged. It's not just fear, it's a pursuit of autonomy. They're choosing experiences over obligations. This quiet protest is reshaping society. The impact will echo for decades. Sometimes the pressure of marriage pushes men to extremes. Take the story of a man in Florida who broke into a stranger's house just to avoid going home to his angry wife. It's a wild example, but it highlights the emotional toll of a bad marriage. For many men, home becomes a source of stress, not sanctuary. Mental health suffers and men feel trapped with no escape. Divorce isn't just an exit, it's a financial and legal nightmare. The risk of losing everything is real. Stories like this fuel the fear and skepticism among young men. It's not just one thing, it's a perfect storm of legal, financial, and emotional pressures. No wonder so many are saying no to marriage.